Hey all, good morning and welcome to ShareTreck. Good morning, Inf. Thanks for joining. Um, Yesterday, Wall Street closed the major indices in the red, as you can see, and the Dow lost around 0.34%, the S&P 500 dropped 0.4%, and the Nasdaq was off 0.34. Not too much of a weakness, but it was led by consumer staples after Walmart profit miss despite strong forecast. And the mood is watchful ahead of the big event, Fed Chair Jerome Powell's speech at Jackson Hole today. I think it's going to happen at around 10 o'clock or 10:30. I'll have to check it out. And investors are still focused on his comments about interest rate. Right now, I think what is priced into the market is a 25 basis point cut in September. Anything more than that is going to be euphoria. Anything less than that is going to be doom. So we are at an inflection point in the last 2 days. The movement in the indices has not been significant. It has been minor, not any major movement as such, all kind of consolidating and moving a little downwards and sideways. And the September rate cut is still expected at 25%, but the odds have slipped to about 75% from near certainty last week. So volatility could spike it. If Powell turns hawkish, and if he comes back and he turns dovish, then probably the market could start picking up again. So that's my calculation. I'd like to hear from you guys. What do you think? Put it in the comment section. It's always helpful for me as well as the rest of the community. And NVDA stands out as the market's heartbeat. It's now responsible for over a quarter of S&P 500's returns so far this year. And the tech sector overall makes up almost 70% of the index's return, with Microsoft, Meta, Broadcom, and Palantir also contributing heavily. But valuations are extreme and the market is top heavy. Any stumble by a major tech name could trigger broader selling. And in this context, you saw NVIDIA coming down significantly. But this morning pre-market, I saw that NVIDIA is positive. NVIDIA is negative, and that negativeness could create more problems for us. So we are waiting for what happens. And thanks, Inf, it is 10 o'clock. Yeah, thank you so much for letting me know. I was a bit confused whether it's 10 or 10:30. I don't have to look it up now. Now, retailers are doing well. I think there's a rotation happening from big tech names into beaten down prospects, which are in non-tech areas. The tariff economy is changing the winners and losers. Big retailers like Walmart, Amazon, and TJ Maxx are beating rivals by adapting quickly and offering deal to more cost-conscious shoppers. Their ability to absorb higher cost has let them grow market share at the expense of small players. And the way these big players can do it is because they can cross-subsidize. That is one. Also, they have huge volumes, and therefore, when they stock ahead or they buy in larger volumes, they can negotiate better price. They have better ability to pass on part of the tariff to the supplier, whereas the small mom and pop stores who are importing maybe $500,000 or $1 million worth of goods do not have that clout. So it's likely that many of these mom and pop businesses or, young guys who are doing side hustle and trying to make it a full-time job and quit their regular 9 to 5, those are the guys who are going to suffer, especially the guys with the drop shipping and all that stuff. So it's going to be painful. Economic trends show that the US economy has rebounded at a 3% annualized pace in Q2 after a brief dip in Q1. But most sectors beyond healthcare are running close to flat with no hire, no fire labor environment. A new country-specific tariffs formalized around August 7th have now taken the average US tariff rate to around 17.1%, which is the highest in years. And this hasn't yet triggered steep inflation, but you saw PPI already showing numbers, and core PCE price index is rising month over month, and economists expect more upward pressure as 2025 continues. And the Fed rate steady in July. That has kind of kept everything neutral. Weakness in the job market has some policymakers urging cuts, and the consensus points towards a September cut, potentially followed by more before year end, and lower rates could fuel borrowing. but may also increase risk for small businesses and indebted customers, according to some of the experts. And many traders and commentators are waiting for the actual speech at 10 a.m. ET before making strong calls or shifting their narratives. There's an air of caution with the sense that real reaction will come after Powell speaks. Volatility is low ahead of the actual event, and headlines this morning are split between stock-specific stories and economic data releases and weekend trading setups. So that's where we are. And as you know, today is Friday, so you have all the option expiry and everything happening. And current market positioning is already defensive, meaning many are hedged or in wait and see mode. Many pre-market narratives less frenzied than you might expect given a Fed headline. That's what I think I have gleaned from everything I've checked out in the pre-market session. Having said that, I would like to go into the indices and have a look at where we are. So I'm going to start off with S&P 500. This is a 3-minute chart, so I'm going to change this into a 1-day time frame. And this is what it looks like. We are between a resistance of 6412 and a support of 6380.25, the way we ended yesterday. And today, again, we are within the same range. And right now we are at 6,399.00. If we manage to break over this resistance, then the next resistance is 6,472.75. However, you can see market sentiment is bearish, MACD is bearish, and momentum is just above average. We are poised to make a move, depending on what Powell says. And NASDAQ also is in the same situation. It's very nicely positioned in a wedge pattern. I'm just going to increase the size so that you can see it is between a resistance of 23,302 and it's between a resistance, a support of 23,204. So that's the range for today. And as you can see, the market was pushed below, but it got pushed back up again. And that's the way it seems we're going to be. Next, we look at the XY, and dollar index is up 0.08%. All the bond yields are also going up moderately. And let's go on to look at indices. And S&P 500 is going to be range bound. On the upper end, we have a resistance at 6,430.73. And this is the diagonal line of resistance that we have from before. I'm going to mark this as a resistance out here. For today, the resistance is 6401.01. And if we break up above this, then the next resistance will be 6429.03. Overall, the sentiment is bearish, MACD is bearish. Momentum is very close to average. It's pointing downwards. And QQQ will give us an idea of what's happening pre-market, and we'll check that out. But NASDAQ right now is also between resistance of around 23,270, which is this red line out here, and a resistance of a support of around 23,009, which is this green line that we see. This is the dynamic support. We have touched it a couple of times before, and I think this is going to perform the role of support today. Again, market sentiment is bearish, MACD is bearish, momentum is below average. Now, QQQ will give us a hint of what's happening in the market. You can see the markets are up 0.21% according to QQQ in the pre-market action. And that again shows that we have a resistance which is going to be today at somewhere in the range of around 574.32 all the way up to 575.29. That's the resistance. And in terms of support, I think we're going to get support at around 553.98. That's the range for QQQ. VIX is a little bit softer today. It's down 0.24%. And let me change this to red. Apart from this, if I look at gold, and gold is looking a little bit weaker out here, 0.30% decline in pre-market. Let me just recalibrate the chart. We are still in the bull flag, and we are in the upper side of the bull flag. We are much closer to the resistance, which is at 3,429 as compared to the support, which is at around 3,161.51. So with the overall market sentiment being bearish, MACD being bearish, and momentum below average. I think gold is also in a wait and watch. Whatever Jerome Powell says is what is going to go ahead. And in terms of a guess of what Powell might do, it's pure guess. I'm thinking that Powell has only 6 months remaining in his term, approximately. And he has stood up to Donald Trump. He has held the line, and he has said that he's going to be data-driven. And if he is purely data-driven, then also in the previous Jackson Hole speech, or the one before that, I think he invoked Volcker. Volcker is known for keeping rates high in order to beat stagflation. And right now, what we are looking at looks more or less like a stagflationary, pre-stagflationary situation where inflation remains elevated and unemployment is not going down. So the employment picture is getting further distorted, and the inflation picture is also getting further distorted by the tariffs. The tariff is going to hit the CPI sooner rather than later because all the front-loaded pre-tariff inventory is getting sold out. So the Fed wants clarity on that, whether it's going to be a one-time hike and then we have inflation on top of it, or is it going to lead to inflation? Now, the reason why that suspicion would be there, because the tariffs have been introduced in a haphazard manner, out of the blue, without a methodology, and it's on again, off again, an individual negotiation with different countries. So it's a very murky picture. So nothing is settled until Trump's term is over, because he can change his mind anytime and add extra tariffs. That's one part of the equation. The other part of the equation is muddied by tariffs. Firstly, because of this increase in prices, companies are trying to keep the sales price to the customer level. And therefore, many companies have already frozen their hiring. And the deportations have also made sure that there is less people looking for jobs. So that is also distorting everything. And AI-related lack of new, fresh employment, especially for graduate and all those people. All of that is making the job side also unreliable. On top of it, PLS had revised all its employment scores. So Jerome Powell is in a very tough situation. And given that kind of a thing, he's also going to be conscious about his legacy. And if he wants to go down the legacy as a responsible Fed, he has to be data-driven. Data is also suspect. So I think he will err on the side of caution. And he would probably make a statement saying that we will continue to be data-driven, and he may not talk anything about September rate cut. And he will be asked questions, but he will continue to say, we are going to be data-driven and we are ready to act to reduce the rates if the situation demands, or to increase the rates if the situation demands. He would say something to that effect so that he does not disturb the markets too much. He does not promise anything and lock himself into it so that he can have the room to move around. I don't think he's afraid of Trump. And the main problem for him would be the division in the Fed, because at the end of the day, the prospect of becoming a Fed chief definitely is important for a career aspiration for many people. So there could be a lot of tendency towards rate cuts, but we'll see what happens. And that's honestly what I think. Now let's go on and have a look at what's happening with our put-call ratio. Put-call ratio is neutral, I would say. And then let's go to AI. NVDA, as I said, is coming down. It's fallen below this line of support of 173.73. So I'm going to mark that red. And if it opens above that, well and good. If it goes down, it will get a support at around 166.01. So I have bought a little bit of NVIDIA, and I was thinking there would be a bounce of this line of support based on the second candle that we got here. But I think I was a bit premature. We'll see what happens when the market opens. Meta is up 0.18% in pre-market trade. Support is going to be 737.95. Google is up 1.09% in pre-market trades, resistance at 202.65, and support is going to be 197.88. Amazon is up 0.34%, support continues to remain 219.82, and resistance will be 227.46. Apple is up 0.54% in pre-market trades, and I think the support will remain 222.99, and the first resistance is going to be 230.11. Then you have Microsoft, which is up 0.13%, and we have support at 498.08. Regardless of the 0.13 that I'm seeing here, I expect Microsoft to test the support today. And probably it could bounce on the support and test the resistance and then come back down again. The wedge pattern at this corner is going to be very critical. Next, I have Tesla, which is up 0.42% in pre-market trades, but it has not been able to go above 322.10, which is the minor line of resistance. We'll see if it can break through or if it's going to come down. I personally think that it's likely to come down unless there is a rate cut in September. Oracle is up 0.01%. It's got a support, which is going to be at around 228.09. Next, we have AMD. AMD is down 0.97% in pre-market trades. And as I mentioned, I think there is a potential that we could touch 144.14. This is the target for the double top pattern. We'll see what happens. MACD is bearish. Market sentiment is also bearish, and momentum is below average. SMCI continues moving the direction that we spoke about. The bear flag continues to move downwards, more like a bear channel, and we are heading towards a target, I think, of 33.30. Then we have Broadcom. Broadcom is up 0.71%, and we have support at 291.11 from yesterday. And right now we are at 291.65. So the current price is slightly above the support level. So this will be the support, and resistance is going to be 302.16. Market sentiment is bearish. MACD is bearish. Momentum is below average. So I do not trust this 0.75. But anyway, whatever we say, 10 o'clock is what is going to determine what happens, what Jerome Powell says. Palantir is down another 0.33% in pre-market trades, and it has got a resistance from this dynamic line of resistance at 159.51, and the support is going to be at 144.53. And of course, I want to look at RGTI, Rigetti. So Rigetti has got this double top, and I think it's going to break down below this horizontal line of support. And then it could go all the way down to this support at 9.86. Pre-market, it's down 0.62%. I'm waiting to buy it when it falls to the lowest it can. That's what I'm thinking. And my logic is that I sold at a loss 100 shares of Rigetti at around 16.1. And if I buy those 100 back at somewhere around 9.92, then what I would have is that cash that I did not spend to buy the 100 shares, and I'll still have the 100 shares. So that way I'll be clawing back my loss. That's what I'm thinking. Let us see how it goes. Next, we have, what else do I want to talk about? WIT, Wipro. Now, Wipro is down 0.71% in pre-market trades, and it is kind of forming a cup and handle pattern. The bearish sentiment is going away, and MACD is fully bullish. Momentum is above average. So I'm thinking that we are going to have a move upward for Wipro. And if we break this horizontal line out here, then the cup and handle will get triggered, and we'll have a very juicy target for Wipro. I have around 1,000 shares. That's all, not too much. I also have PLTD, which I bought earlier, a couple of days ago. And PLTD is up 0.37% in pre-market trades. And what else do we have here? So that's about it. Now, I would like to go and have a look at Genomics. And let me see. I wanted to talk about Cloudflare also. Give me a second. I have something to talk about in terms of Cloudflare. Okay. So Cloudflare has formed a head and shoulder pattern. And this is where you will see shoulder number 1, shoulder number 2, and head. Okay. So with this head and shoulder pattern, I am thinking the neckline is going to be here. This is the neckline. I'm going to mark this green as a support. The moment we break below this neckline, it means we have triggered it. And then we want to close one more candle below this neckline, which would mean that the resistance has been confirmed. And then we could see a drop in Cloudflare. This is my personal opinion, not financial advice. So please don't do anything rash without doing your own analysis. That said, let's go to Genomics. And we have Prime. Prime is trying to recover, stay within the bull flag. So far, so good. I'm not too much worried. We had a minor gap up, which got filled up. So from now on, I want to see the price moving up. The upward movement has typically been 2 flags or 3 flags or 2 or 3 candles. That's all. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So I'm thinking that we already have these 2 candles. Does it mean that there is a whole lot of weakness because these candles are too small and they haven't covered any ground? And also given the fact that we have got bearish market sentiment, bearish MACD and momentum below average, I'm thinking that probably we are looking at a situation where this bull flag breaks down instead of breaking up. It happens. It's just a question of probability. And if Fed chief comes out and if he's hawkish, then you can be assured that this flag is going to break out on the downside. Intelia is up 0.35%. Caribou Biosciences has got no trade in the pre-market session. Beam Therapeutics is up 0.25%. And Altimmune is up 0.85%. Altimmune continues to move above this diagonal line of support. So it's still looking a little bit bullish to me. So I'm okay with that. The market sentiment has to improve. MACD is already bullish. Momentum has also got to improve. So there is a lot of work to be done for it to become truly bullish, but it's moving in the right direction. Veritas has got no trades pre-market. Illumina is up 0.72% in pre-market trades. And we have this cup and handle pattern out here, but we don't seem to be anywhere close to invoking it. So I think I'll have to let go of this cup and handle pattern target. I'm going to just junk it. I'm going to remove the cup and handle altogether. And then we have CRISPR Therapeutics, which is up 0.74% in pre-market trades. We had the head and shoulder triggered at 53.21 yesterday. And we said that we are going to go down and we'll go all the way down to 40.55. But pre-market, we are exactly on top of the resistance, exactly at 53.21. If we break up above that, then I want to see one more candle confirming above that so that the support can be reconfirmed, and then we'll grow up on that. However, if we don't confirm that and we come down, then we could potentially follow the head and shoulder target. So the next 2 days are going to be crucial for CRISPR Therapeutics, that is today and Monday. Allogene is up 0.89% in pre-market trades. Grail is up 0.27% in pre-market trade. And PSCB is up 1.59% in pre-market trades. And RG is up 0.41% in pre-market trades. Vertex continues to do well. Vertex is up 0.38% in pre-market trades. This is the bull flag that we have out here. I'm just going to draw that. This is a very rough drawing, so please bear with me. So this has got multiple touch points. So this is our bull flag, and bull flags typically break out on the upside. Now, this one fizzled out for us. And what we have now is a huge drop out here. And this huge drop has led to a situation where we are looking at this new bull flag out here, which seems to be turning upwards because this was the line that I had drawn before. So the breakout has already happened. Pre-market, we are up 0.38%. So it is possible that Vertex might start moving towards this line of resistance at 413.37, trying to break through about it. So this is the flagpole we have. And if I take this flagpole out here and plonk it out here, because now we have a confirmation of the support, this line becoming a support, because not only did we break up and close above it, but the following day also we closed above it. So this support is confirmed. So our target now for Vertex is 425.52. Again, personal opinion, not financial advice. Be careful. Ginkgo Bioworks is up 0.77%. It fell down below this diagonal line of resistance. No harm done. We can still travel along this and break out of this diagonal line of resistance, break out of this flag pattern, bull flag pattern. But things are not looking that great, mainly because market sentiment is bearish, MACD is bearish, and also momentum is below average. So I wouldn't take that to the bank. And we have Precision, which continues moving upwards. It's got the bull flag, and it's up 0.82% in pre-market trades. It's at 3.67. So it's doing very well. I have half of the holdings, that is 500 shares out of 1,000. I sold 500 and booked profit the day of the earnings. And then the remaining 500 are almost free for me because the cost has been recovered. So I can afford to sit and wait. So there is a bull flag that is going on. And if we break out on the top, then there could be further movement up. And what else do I have here? We have RARE, which is Ultragenics. Ultragenics continues to be bullish, and we have a resistance here at 29.47, which has already been broken by the share in the pre-market trade at 29.50. So I'm going to leave this red line as it is. We don't know whether we'll open above it or below it, but if we open above it, that becomes a support, and then we want to finish this gap down, and our immediate support is going to be somewhere around, I would say, 30.61, and then we'll go up all the way to the top of 33.39, and after that comes the gap fill. So I think there are legs to this movement upward for Vertex, and it should be good. So that's all I wanted to talk to you about, guys, and I'd like to hear from you if you have anything that you want to talk about, or you can post a message for the community. So thanks for joining, and I'll catch up with you again in the next video. Bye for now.